Innovative policy doesn't mean there wasn't a cost, and previous measures exacted an economic price. Industries have been disrupted by the virus globally. For those that are dependent on people moving from one place to another, like tourism and aviation, the price was even greater.
We would see in the end of 2020, 90% of the countries having a smaller economy than at the start of the year. Our assessment is a loss of GDP in these 2 years of $12 trillion. Just to give you a picture of what it is Japan, Germany, Spain, Italy not producing for a whole year.
With the most challenging geopolitical and geoeconomic situation for decades. We have a weak recovery that easily can turn into a recession. We have not that much movement on the green transition as we have hoped, and we are not out of the woods when it comes to COVID, the pandemic.
China acted to protect its people's livelihoods as much as possible. In fact, it started doing so even in the early stages of the pandemic. On February 23, 2020, the central government held a meeting to better coordinate COVID-19 measures with economic and social needs. Over the next 3 years, a series of measures were taken, ranging from tax refund, rent exemption, to strengthening the domestic market and accelerating the construction of new infrastructure like 5G networks and data centers. In 2020, China's GDP grew by 2.3% and crossed the 100 trillion yuan or $14.33 trillion threshold. It was the only major economy to grow that year. In 2021, it grew by 8.4%. It was the largest growth rate in a decade and surpassed IMF expectations and the Chinese government's target. And in the same year, the digital economy became a main engine for economic growth, accounting for 39.8% of the GDP. Between 2019 and 2021, the digital economy grew by 10 trillion yuan. In the first 11 months of 2022, China's online retail sales went up 4.2% year-on-year. China's aggregate economic volume is expected to surpass 120 trillion yuan. Local governments in China arranged business representatives to travel overseas to promote trade and to secure deals.